ask about Victor until a few questions in, but I think it'd be nice to just say it up front. What do you think of his performance?
I thought his, excuse me, I thought his defensive presence and the ground he covered in the second half felt more demonstrative than the first half. And I thought you could really see it there at the start of the third quarter and then again when we needed it in the fourth.
What do you see from the guys in terms of composure in a game where you have a lead, lose a lead, grab the lead back?
I thought they responded great. We talked about it before the game, that that's a 48-minute game every time you play that team. They're competitive, it's a program, they're consistent. And so whenever you go on a run, that just gives you a little bit of support because you know they're on their way back. And I thought we did a great job. Obviously the zone got us on our heels a little bit, overthinking, indecisive, happens. And I thought Harrison Barnes did a great job of settling in, and then we started making plays and get back to playing basketball and got a couple to go in and got back to get our half-court defense getting set and made just enough plays.
You talk about Victor covering all that ground in the second half. He also played nearly 40 minutes. Can you speak on just the condition that he came into camp with? Because I don't remember him having that much energy over the course of a 40-minute game or a 40-minute playing time last year.
In all honesty, it may be the most impressive thing in terms of, because then if you go back and look at probably the distance he covered, he was setting a ton of pick and rolls and rolling to the basket. The pace they play at is at breakneck speed, so the game really didn't stop, and it was a physical game on both ends in a good way. And so for him to play through that, I thought there was one time it felt like, obviously in the fourth he got tired. You could see it visually, rightfully so, what he was being asked. We took him out there for 2 minutes. He came back and finished it off, and I think it's commendable. And it's something, to your point, for him to play 40 minutes at that level of consistency and efficiency in terms of, missed a couple of shots, but taking care of the ball, making strong passes and rebounds was very impressive.
You mentioned Miami's pace of some of that unconventional stuff they're doing on offense. How do you think you guys?
About halftime set a tone. I think in the first half, the game got away from us a little bit, just in terms of not even necessarily the outcome or the score, but just it didn't feel like we were quite in it quite yet. Like we were just kind of tiptoeing around, and you could see them imposing their will. And I think when we got to recollect ourselves at halftime, we started the third quarter with the type of urgency and competitiveness and aggressiveness that we wanted on both sides of the floor. And it's not necessarily unconventional. It's just we get so used to all the pick and rolls that everybody runs, right? They're just running less pick and rolls. It's not anything too outside the box, but they're playing downhill quick. And so it puts a ton of emphasis on getting back, and you're not always matched up with your traditional matchup or person that you're guarding in a half-court set. I thought we did a good job as the game went on moving on from that mentality.
Couldn't quite tell from upstairs, but was that a teaching moment, substitution of Dylan in the fourth quarter when you got him out after his turnover and kind of put him back out there?
Yeah, he just had a couple of times tonight. Again, I thought he was not looking to attack. He missed a couple shots early. I don't know if that played into it or anything, but and again, we did it as a team, but he had a turnover, and it was just because he was telegraphing the pass because he wasn't looking to attack. That kid has the ability to be in attack mode at all times and still be able to process and deliver passes and make reads and make plays. And I just reminded him of that. It was nothing earth-shattering, but
How has he responded to those kind of moments so far this year?
Phenomenal. I mean, his performance has been great. He's getting ready to go back in the game, but the 5 people in the court were playing too well, so I wasn't going to overthink it and got out of my own way and let those guys finish the job.
Devin had a three with about 5 minutes left, and when he followed with another one. We were kind of looking for Devin to hit those. I mean, he didn't have a great shooting night from three, but we were looking for him to hit those.
Yeah, we look for anybody to hit clutch shots, right? But he's stepped up and been able to make plays. He had some rebounds in traffic. And again, to not have always what happened most recently individually or as collectively as a team to be able to not affect the next thing is a step in the right direction in terms of maturity and growth for this group.
You've had a lot of these back and forth games where, teams fighting back at the end and you're taking off the comeback. How do you think this sort of benefits you later on down the road to kind of feel this early on?
I think if anything, it's just going to be a reference point, right? I'd say, I don't know, I'll make a number up, but 75% of NBA games or something like that. Very rarely does one team just lead the whole time. And so to be able to get in that back and forth and have some success in terms of learning how to fight through adversity and when it's not perfect in execution at the end, I think it's something to, again, just to continue to learn from. And if you can improve on it while having a little bit of success, that's a positive.
Coach, this is the first 5-0 start in franchise history, the first 5-game win streak since 2019. I guess what does that mean to you as a coach, and what's the biggest difference over those stretches where things can go wrong in the last few years?
I don't know. I think those guys, this group gets credit for the 5 games that we've won in terms of finding ways to win, because that's been pretty. In terms of the streak, there's been so much success that I feel silly, seriously, to talk about any level of these 5 games versus what this organization's done in the past. But this group definitely gets credit. They've figured out ways to win the first 5 games, and it's not going to get any easier.